All right. Hey, good evening.
Good evening.
The truth behind the new year of more in 24.
All right.
Okay. We're so glad to see you guys tonight. Thank you for taking the time out. And yes, sir, we're going to talk about that mug in just a second.
Yeah.
You know, we're so glad to take you guys taking the time out to be with us tonight and welcoming in this wonderful, wonderful new year of success, motivation, wealth. Okay. Wealth in life, wealth and health, you know. But and then also wealth in your bank account, okay?
Wealth in your bank account.
Yes, indeed. We want to see you guys making some money this year because guess what? True behind true gonna make some money this year. Okay, it's already out there in the universe. Because hey, if it works out, that me and Charles and all of us together here, if it's time to get to the studio this year, we put it out there. So, you know, it's coming. It's coming. It's coming. It is definitely coming. Out of every talk show that you have the choices to be able to be a part of, there tons of them out there. Yeah. But at the end of the day, you know who is resonating. You know what I mean? Who is trying to prepare you for your life every day that you wake up. You know, and helping you get responsibility. Because at the same time, it's a year more. Okay, it's a year of getting ready. All right, I mean, you got to get ready for this election, which we're going to be hitting on quite a bit this year. You know, talking about that, getting you in the right frame of mind. Okay, and those of you on the wrong side, we're going to try to get you back on the right side. So we're looking at the dark side from the light side. We want you back on the light side because y'all been in the dark side way too long. Okay, all right, following the wrong ideas and you know, and trying to destroy your democracy. But we'll get into that a little bit tonight. And then also we're going to talk about the president and his phenomenal speech last night. I mean, I was like, where the hell was this joke? Where did this joke come from? You know, we've been needing this joke for a while, you know. But thank you for coming back, Joe. All right.
Thank you. Democrats got a new PR person.
Okay, be as it may. You know what I mean? But whatever it is, he tried to shake some things up last night. You know,
he just keeps shaking the tape.
Before we get into the fellas tonight, we just want to remind you guys it's a new year of the truth behind the truth. Get your mug, get your mug, get your mug, get your mug. All right. Our contest is still remaining. Okay. You know, 10 likes, 10 shares this year. You know, it should be a new opportunity for you to. Charles, you know what? We're going to cut that down. We're going to do five shares. Okay. Because we need somebody working. They feel like they can get 10. We'll give you 5 to get a mug this year. Okay.
All right.
And then, but you can still join. I mean, so you can still, of course, inquire to get your mug. All right. For $15. Okay. You know what? For this month, okay, once it's the new year, we're going to take the mug down to $13.99. Okay. $13.99 for your mug. All right. We're gonna take it down to $13.99. We'll change it up on the sign, but we're gonna take it down to $13.99 just for this month only to get your mug. So you need to do something, y'all. All right, at the end of the day. All right. But anyway, so to get your mug, send an email definitely to the truth behind the truth. What is represents the truth behind the truth show at gmail.com, which broken down as TTB show at gmail.com. That's for both opportunities to order your mug as well as doing your likes and shares. All right. Got that out of the way. Hey, all right. Let me check on my fellas. All right, Charles, how you doing? Good to see you tonight. How was New Year coming in?
That was pretty good. I'm doing well. I'm hanging in there, trying to make it through these days and see how this new year starts off. I'm thinking that it's pretty positive. So let's see where we go.
Absolutely. It was good to have you tonight. Join us on the cast panel with us tonight as always. Guys, if you don't know, he is the right hand and the right arm and the neck and you know the toe and the ear of Dial and the Knife for working and making this wonderful platform. And as we go with it in the development of it, he's a very, very intricate part of it. He's actually our what title I gave you now? VP of whatever, showrunner, JK.
That guy.
That guy. Okay. That guy. Great. Sandy.
Yes.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Good to see you.
It's nice to be seen. It feels like only days since I've seen you.
I know. You know what? It's been since last year. You know.
No, we're filming here. We had our pre-production meeting.
Well, that's just true. This is true. Well, on the show, it's been since last year. Okay. So.
A mess.
Okay.
Going on to distraction news right now, so we won't prolong this.
We got to talk about you first. What's going on?
You know, work.
Oh gosh.
Average American doing what we all have to do: work, pay bills, and live. How about yourself?
I got you. Oh, me?
Yeah.
Well, I'm excited. I've
All
been
right.
been excited and making all wonderful declarations as to what will happen, this year. I'm seriously getting us set up as I close out last year. My intent, my energy that I put in the universe, or some people say prayer, I put the energy in the universe. It's all encompassing the same thing. All right, that success, more success. Okay, and more of that. So my more everybody. I'm not sure I'm not the only one that did it, but my more in 24 is like resonating. Tamara Hall's got her show more in 24. Everybody's doing more in 24. All right, well, I said it first. All right.
All right.
I said it in 23 that we were going for more in 24. So I said it first, Tamara, but you can come on the show and talk about it if you want to.
All right. Hey. But let's get on to
yes.
this though,
So-
because we don't want to prolong too much of what's going on, but we want to get into it so we
Yes.
can talk about Biden.
Right. So let's talk about the Golden Globes, of course, tomorrow. All right.
It's tomorrow.
Tomorrow night, okay.
Yes.
I know a lot of people are kind of up and down about the Golden Globes and what their reputation has been, for the past several years. Okay, of course, was it last year that they were canceled? I think that the show part was canceled because they had not made amends to the situation that they had been doing for so the show got canceled or whatever, but they're back, this tomorrow night. Be interesting to see how it takes place.
Well, I think their situation was based on diverse.
Yeah, it wasn't on
diversity,
right?
basically.
Exactly.
So yeah, but now they're back, hopefully with diverse people,
right? Exactly.
And people who are doing diverse voting,
right?
Just as hope.
So we will see what that happens on tomorrow night. But they are actually kicking off the remainder of the award season, and therefore moving forward. So we'll see. We're hoping that we will see a diverse year. And as I said, more in 24, where you see a more diverse cultural ideas. But I'm sure Sandy was saying if we get Trump locked up, then it's going to be more. So hopefully we'll get get more opportunities with that. And seeing him get locked up.
Hope and pray that they do something about that. But speaking of Trump, let's get into some more distraction news besides the Golden Globes.
Okay. I did want to mention that. Then you can dive off of that. I just wanted to remember that this is the horrific day that Trump showed his ass out in Washington. Okay,
we always showed his ass.
Well, but this day it goes down in history no matter what happens.
We're gonna get into that later.
That January 6th. That orange suit, that orange face should be locked up for what we have to deal with today, and the stupidity of the people that raided the Capitol, and not those terrorists. Okay, that's what they were. They were terrorists. That raided the Capitol last year. That's just terrorist behavior on American soil. But this is the way they think. And I'm sure we'll have a few more points, but I did want to recognize that. And then the people that we lost, unfortunately, that day, as officers and things that did lose their lives, through the hands of terrorists, at the end of the terroristic behavior. But go ahead and dig in. I know you want to talk about let's get the entertainment out of the way, and then we're going to dig into what we're going to educate people on this year.
Well, you talked about Biden. That's what we were going to get into. But going back to what I was going to say about the cat, about this interview with Shannon Sharpe and Cat Williams. This is just what I got to say this though, because the interview has been circulating through all social media. It's not really worth talking about because it's all based on exposing whoever that he had to talk about. So based on what I saw, it was a great interview, very entertaining, very comical. He came in, he came swinging, he came hitting about the Mike Epps, about all these people that came through. Look at who just showed up. Oh my goodness. But going back to what I was saying, I want to say this though. Cat Williams, I love him. I think he is a genius. He is a genius at his craft, at his art. One thing I wish that we could get from our entertainers, not the fact that being enlightening on exposing your contemporaries about the wrongdoings they have done. I just wish sometimes when it boils down to conversation about whatever industry that you're in, that it boils down to a confirmation of things are going to get better and things are going to have to change. I just feel like at the end of the day, there has to be a light at the end of the tunnel.
Okay.
Because right now it's so much hoopla about this interview, and you got a lot of entertainers that are hollering because a lot of feelings were hurt. Kevin Hart's feelings were hurt. But it's just the fact that, this is the year of exposure. I just feel like at the end of the day, as entertainers, they got to bring something other than exposing other entertainers.
Mhm.
Bring the entertainment. That's all I got to say.
Okay. Well, no, I go ahead, Charles.
You know, this is a awkward type of thing because this is society as a whole. When we look at how society acts right now, it's basically, and I'm not trying to throw shade on anybody, but all those folks who sat by and watched these things happen, and now they want to come out and tell the stories, you're just as guilty as the people that did it. You can't pop up here 10 years later and go, yeah, I was there. I remember when. No, you should have been speaking up when it happened.
Right.
And it's sad to say that as society as a whole, we don't take an account of how we treat each other. If you sat by and watched that type of stuff, you had no respect for those women or those kids or whoever was involved in these situations. And when we look at as society as a whole, we don't care about each other. We have no empathy, no compassion. All we want to do is outshine or undercut the next person. And until we figure out that we can't survive without each other, this thing isn't going to work, whether it's a democracy or a country as a whole. Until we realize it takes us to make this work, we're not going to do anything but destroy the country and society as a whole, because there's nothing of value in any of this stuff we're doing right now. Nothing.
And we see it in our politics. It's not only in the entertainment world, it's in our politics. You see now congressmen, senators who are not doing the will of the people.
Right.
I mean, we're paying taxes to pay their bills, and they can just walk away and not do anything. Undercutting and doing what they do best. And just watching that interview, it reminds me so much, like you said, Charles, about society. We don't care for each other. Truth behind the truth, it's a dog-eat-dog world out there. Whatever industry that you're trying to get into, entertainment, politics, business, there are people who are going to undergird you, and you got to be prepared for that mentally, because it's going to hurt your feelings. I saw Cat was hurt. Cat, even though he's a comedian, but that comedy came from some hurt, because there were a lot of people doing his whole entire career that hurt him and said some things about him that he claims wasn't true. But the ones who hurt him, they're just as guilty, because now they're talking. But what you say, Sandy, who gives a fuck? Who gives a fuck? At the end of the day, they making their money, right?
Very true.
They're making their money. Go ahead, Darnell. Did you want to say anything?
No, I was just saying that it's just basically everything that you're saying in a nutshell. This is a every man for himself type of situation. I think that some, they turn around and they play the game and they play it tricky and they do what needs to be done in order to get to where they need to go to. And some choose to play it the right way. And when you choose to play it the right way, you don't seem as if you are actually winning, but behind the scenes, you're actually winning, to the people. So, I mean, it is what it is for everything. They as long as they hand us a couple of more millions, we might can discuss them a little longer.
Yeah.
I get, and it's apropos of what everything that you guys are saying. Donald, you probably, and please, you got to probably keep it because picking up the sound around you. But anyway, I totally agree with what you're saying, and Charles, and definitely, because we have gone to a nation or a group of people, if you want to, that don't care about one another. And it's amazing that I was literally just having this conversation with someone at work today about what we're talking about right now, and so the way I think the responsibility is that some people are getting that vibration. And which we're going to get into in just a moment here. Then we have a whole host that I don't know what vibration they on. I think that the good vibrations, but the vibration that should be coming to them, I think they're just blocking it. And they're blocking it from the opportunity of wanting their agenda pushed. I mean, whether it's eradicating, or not eradicating, or overtaking a woman's body. They want their agenda pushed, not being concerned what happens within her family. They want to challenge why they want to challenge people in their bedrooms. That could be whatever, and why is that so important? What I'm saying in society and issue. Then you've got ones that don't understand the. Now I know the border is a big thing. That's something we're going to get into as well. However, but we've got to look at what's the need. Why are these people coming to the border in such droves? I know, I see, as well. So these are just different points that you're going to bring. And thank you guys for bringing that up. So when we come back from break, we're going to get in a little bit more. Sandy, I want you to start when we get back and bring up the points of major interest on our political side, and we'll kind of roll with you and that, and we'll kind of bounce off the president's speech and what have you now. Okay, so we'll be right back, digging in a little bit more, getting you set for more in 24. We'll see you right back. All right, and we are back, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Truth Behind the Truth, where we are expecting more in 24. All right, that's going to be our motto, Charles. We'll put that on one of our banners. Expecting the Truth Behind the Truth is expecting more in 24. Okay, all right. Sandy, go ahead and then kind of jump in on it, making our political movement here, and we're going to follow you a little bit, and then give our little points behind everything with that.
Well, first of all, let's start out with today is January 6th, so
Correct.
It's the anniversary of the insurrection
Right.
that Trump hosted and
Exactly.
created. And no matter what anybody says out there on the MAGA side, it was wrong.
Right.
It was violent.
Right.
People died. People were injured. 140 police officers injured.
Yes.
And they weren't injured by Antifa. They weren't injured by Democrats. They were injured by Republicans who were trying to storm the Capitol and put gallows up outside to hang Mike Pence.
Yes.
They wanted to hang one of their own because he wasn't going to do what Trump asked. And they were looking for Nancy Pelosi to do harm to her.
Right.
And so we've all been sitting here talking about all the stuff that Trump does, but one of the things we've been frustrated is that the Democrats haven't come out and gone after him. Well, yesterday, our president, Joe Biden, went after Trump in the biggest way he could and just went after him and called him what he is, a liar, an insurrectionist, a bad for America, a authoritarian, and then more than anything, he not more than anything, because everything was so poignant that our president said, but he talked about Trump, being at Arlington National Cemetery and calling our fallen heroes, our fallen brothers and sisters and wives and mothers and women and boys that have passed on and are laid to rest in Arlington, and he called them suckers.
Right.
And Biden said, how dare he? How dare he? Someone gives their life for our country, for what we believe in, for democracy, for the right for you to speak your truth. And it's one thing to speak, but it's another thing to speak your truth. So Biden is out there, and I'm sure from this, he's just been waiting in the wings, waiting for the time. Let's get into the election season. Let's get into this. And Trump's got a world of hurt of things. He's got cases at the Supreme Court that may decide one thing or the other. And it's very interesting to listen to all the arguments as they're spun about whether or not he's going to be on the ballot or not be on the ballot. And is the Supreme Court going to go against it or with it? And if they do, is it a political decision or is it a philosophical decision based on the health of the country? Because are we going to let the 40% of MAGAs go nuts and create violence because that's what Trump instigates? And Trump's had his little mafia soldiers out there, trying to intimidate the Supreme Court, going on Fox, that Alina Habba and stuff like this. So for anybody that's out there that's watching, if you're a Trump supporter, you better start to watch the truth. And you can go on YouTube and watch that Biden speech. the truth behind the truth, and you can watch that Biden speech and you can understand. And then we should talk about some of the things, not only that Trump did, but what has Biden done since he's been in office? Do you know that Biden has created 14 million new jobs in the first 3 years of his administration? You know how many jobs that is? That's 10 times more jobs than the last 3 Republican presidents combined. I mean, that is a staggering number. So when people, when they say, well, I don't know about Biden now, what has he done? Oh my goodness, he's 815,000 new manufacturing jobs. Our unemployment is at a national low of 3.9%. Hasn't been down there. I don't know. Inflation is down and headed down. Wages are up. Economic growth is up. I mean, this guy is running our country, and he's been busy, which is why he hasn't gone after Trump to this point. But now is the time to go after him and understand that if you're out there and you believe that Trump is the answer to your solutions, this is a guy who will take your rights away. You, the MAGA Republicans that think he's going to make it better for you. He's stealing your money. He's asking you to donate money to him so that he can have a free ride, and he's taking your money that you could be using on yourself for better things. So my 2 cents, happy to chime in. Cat Williams would much rather about this.
We can't forget about the 640 billion that he's received from 20 different foreign countries, especially those we're not doing trade or business with, China and the rest of them, and how he's praising all these dictators. So when did America become such I hate to say the word, but a punk to go out here and just be dogged by everybody, and we just sit back and watch? That it used to be a time that we didn't want the Soviet Union or the Saudi Arabians or the rest of them telling us what to do or how to run our country. Trump says he gets on a 3-way call with the Saudis and the rest of them, and they have conversations, Russia, and they have conversations about America. When did we start doing that? Then everything he does is vested in their interest. It's not in the United States. It's vested toward his company, him, and the interest of Trump enterprises and foreign countries. That's not us. That's not us at all. That doesn't put any stake into the United States. And then for people who tell us that the law is the law, well, I keep seeing how when people talk against judges, they usually get locked up. How does he get to stand out there in public on the street corner and just talk so much smack and don't nobody say a word, don't nobody do anything about it? It's just they give him so much grace, and he doesn't deserve all this grace. He is an insurrectionist, 2 times impeached president, former president. So where is the justice in what's been going on? Nobody's paying attention or even trying to do it. If this had been Obama, man, he'd be locked up with an orange suit on and talking to TV cameras through the jail cell. Why is this so different for Trump? Why is
this never would have been Obama, because that wasn't Obama's personality, and he wasn't like that. He was all American. Even Joe Biden kept saying, look, I'm here to serve all of America, all Americans, even if you didn't vote for him.
So true. I mean, I agree. I mean, you know, really at this point I'm just going to reserve mine till later on. So you guys just go right here, because this is so good, you know, in the information piece that we're laying out. I will say this, guys, if you're watching, thank you for watching, number one, but pay attention to us this year. It's really important for your life. We're not on here to, I don't know, to have the Beyonce doing whatever kind of, even though she looks kind of funny right now. I throw that in there. But those type of conversations, we will mention entertainment here or there, but we really want you to be educated. It is a very serious time in this country. All right. And in your community, in your home, and your families, you need to be having these discussions. Okay. Because you got to get ready for November. All right. And being ready and knowing who you're going to solidly vote for. Okay. At the end of the day. All right. But that's all. I'm leaving my page. But
you know what? And I'm going to let Darnell speak. When I saw the speech, I was happy that he asked the question, do America still wants a democracy? And for me, I don't think the typical American knows what comes with being what comes with being free. I think we have taken for granted the principles of freedom that we have in this country as we speak. You know, it goes back to this, and I'm going to reiterate this because I keep talking about this all the time. I saw a documentary years ago on the History Channel called The Third Reich. And that documentary scared the hell out of me because what I realized was how fragile the democracy or a government that is built on democracy can just go down the drain because of unemployment, because of high inflation, because of uneducated people, and because of some form of religion. People who live in certain places within the country of these United States, you have one particular side of the country that wants their version of what they feel that the United States should look like, should be about, control everything, trump all variations of people with unique differences, sexualities, different, ethnicities. Right. They want things to trump everything, and Trump represents those people. Right. The MAGA people are those evangelicals who want Bibles thrown at your child who might be of a certain religion that doesn't believe in Jesus. Right. They want marriage to be we're married. Right. We are a gay couple. They don't allow in MAGA country, they don't allow this. Right. So I'm wondering, if you are a typical American who is of any type of persuasion, different religions, different types of ideas, do you want somebody with what they call it? You know what I'm talking about? For me, but go ahead. A dictator type of atmosphere or controlling. If you want one society, then you're rooting for the wrong team. If you're rooting for Trump, you're rooting for one society. One society underneath one leader. Forget about your country. Think about this.
I've been around the world. I've been to Afghanistan. I've been to Iraq. I've been to Iran. I've been to Cuba. I've been to a lot of these places that most people don't get to see or probably won't get to see. Yeah. And during these times I was there was as when that thin line of democracy was working with Iran, as the Shah got put out. I was a part of a mission that actually went over there to rescue the hostages over there when I lost some fellow soldiers through the plane crash. There's been so many uprisings through the years, all because of the manipulation of America. It ain't like we got our hands clean. We've been dipping and dabbling for years, doing things. But the situation, when you speak of freedom, you got to remember, there's a time when I was in Iran and Iraq that you had to have a picture of Saddam Hussein in your house. When the door opened, it had to be the first thing you saw. And if you didn't see it, you got beat, flogged in the street, 20 lashes. See, we don't have that here. We can talk against the leaders here and not go to jail, or we speak our mind. In other countries, in China, they'll set you up for the firing squad, shoot you. In Iran, they'll stone you. So, we take this thing of, and America is the only country in the world that isn't a true blood. Nothing is of origin here. We're a nation of immigrants and visitors. Nothing here is original except for the Native Americans, and even they are I guess you call it a crossbreed of the Africans that came here, that were here a long time ago. A lot of people don't know that part either. But we didn't just come here through slave ships. We were here a long time ago. So when you look at this type of freedom and, like you said, fine thread of democracy, it's just an experiment. And when you look at autocracy, which is like Kim Jong-un and the rest of these guys, they own the country. They own the oil company. Putin owns everything there. Nothing belongs to nobody but him. Right. And then he has the oligarchs that he has his buddies that have some crumbs that he passes out. So when we sit here in America and say we'd rather go with Trump, let him be the orange of Jesus, as I've heard people say. Right, yeah, exactly. And let him run our country. We're basically actually telling ourselves we just want a king. That's all it is, or a ruler, some type of monarch.
Well, I think Americans want that.
Well, and they probably do. So, like I said, can you imagine walking in your house, seeing that orange face on the wall? No. Oh my God, really? Go ahead, Darnell. I know you've been trying to get your point in.
No, I was saying hell no. Because that's the purpose of being in the land of the free. We stated that on a show some time ago. That's why a lot of people, they migrate to the United States from their country so they can be free. They can have the opportunities that is afforded here that they don't have in their country. So who wants someone telling them what they can do, how they can do it, and all this and other? That's crazy. It's kind of like it defeats the purpose of the United States being what it's been all these umpteen years.
Well, I want to rock that table a little bit. Do they know? Do they know when they come across the border? Do they know what freedom is? Because see, what people don't understand is, and I want to go there tonight. I really do, because you have people who come from different countries. They have different ideologies or different ideas of how government should be. And when they come over here and they see the type of freedom that we have, some of them are confused.
Right.
Are dismayed to the fact that there is no order in a country like this. They come across it saying, y'all have no order here. Y'all, we can make good money here, but y'all have no order.
So this is kind of a good question I want to throw out here for us as a team. So the influential points, because we never know where conversations are going that people are having, you know. So you have these people coming here, okay, and not necessarily I think fully being vetted, you know, I think anymore. And that's another issue that we were going to get into tonight. And these kind of conversations kind of, you know, coming on, and then they got family members in their community. And so they start talking about this type of thing. Do you think, I'm just throwing it out there, do you think that this is part of the problem? You know what I mean? And that one situation may spread and continue to spread and continue to spread. One point for y'all answer that. Charles, if you can, I'd love to put up about the book, okay, and just put up about the Third Reich and just kind of encourage our viewers to get that book so they can understand what happens with the democracy, what, you know what I'm saying, what's going on, why you're at jeopardy, because people seem not to believe that, you know what I'm saying? And as we've said on the show, reading is fundamental. Okay, here's an opportunity for you to do some research independently so that you can fact check if you want to, but we've already fact check. You know, we checked our facts, all right, but fact check, you know, what's going on and see how it is all molding together that this orange man wants you to have that same type of behavior as these third Reich countries have done. Okay, so get the book. Okay, we'll put it up when we get an opportunity so you to kind of remember, if you didn't get in the earlier part of the show, it's called Third Reich, you know, and it breaks down all of the things, and you will say, wow, this is the start thing what's happening in the U.S. at this particular point in time. But anyway, so back to my question. So what do you guys think about that? I mean, and it's kind of, we can roll that into the segue of talking about the immigration situation. So, I mean, anybody can grab it. Sandy, you want to grab it?
Okay, let's start with the Statue of Liberty and the poem that's on it. It says, "Give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to breathe free." That is what our country has been based on. That is what the French gave us, the Statue of Liberty. That's why it sits there to welcome people coming into this country. And even though it sits there in the harbor of New York, it's been it's like, give us more in 24. It's our mantra here in the United States. That's so true. What's happened? People are coming across, and the Republicans want us to fear, so they make it sound like it's worse. And Trump's going, "Oh, it's the drug addicts, and it's the prison people, and it's the murderers and the killers." No, it's not. It's people like you and me that want to come into this country, that are looking for something, a better opportunity, which America has always provided. Are there some bad people? Yes, of course there are. But is it everybody? Hell no. It's a tiny little percent. So that's number one. Number two is then you have a scumbag governor in Texas and in Florida.
Absolutely.
Who want to take these people and put them in buses and get them out of their country, out of their state, and send them somewhere to make it somebody else's problem. And part of me understands that you want to do that. It's terribly wrong, but I understand you don't want to deal with the problem. But now we've got the government that's going to sue the state of Texas and sue the state of Florida. So now we've got an expense attached to all this. And you go, our money is being spent to work against, to defend what we don't want to be doing. But what the Republicans are fine to do, they want fear. Trump wants us to be scared and vote for me because I'll clean up that border. We don't want to have any immigrants, even though Nikki Haley is an immigrant, and even though so many other people are immigrants in this country and came from other places, or their parents or grandparents came from other places. I mean, if we go back far enough, none of us were here.
Right, absolutely.
We're here, and we stole the country from them. We're all fucking immigrants. So what are we doing?
Oh, yeah, you dropped it. I thought you were going to continue on. Well, no, you're right. I mean, you know, and it's funny how they can just selectively, not to choose to look at themselves or their ancestors as immigrants in this particular country. And it's very selective memory. It's just you choose not to acknowledge, just like you choose to forget or understand what the civil rights were. I mean,
Well,
the Civil War was about.
Immigrant.
Well, yeah, but I'm making a point here. No, I'm making a point here. So you could
Yeah.
choose to not understand why the Civil War was fought, and then when you get asked that particular question, then you stand there, like a deer in headlights. And say, well, duh, I had no idea. So thank you, Charles. Thank you for that. So guys, I'm just pausing my point. Take a look at this, see what it represents. See the swastika on the front of it, you see what it was representing. But this is the format, and the one thing I think Donald Trump probably read was this book, to find himself to be able to make these behaviors become his. Right, exactly. To make these behaviors become his, and put this how can I say this? The start the movement of fooling people the same way that Hitler did. He fooled people. He fooled people into believing it. He is. But the fool and foolishness is that you believe it. Now, how can you go from, having this level of prosperity in your independence, okay, what you had in a country's independent, you could go and do your fields, you could you could sell your corn, you could sell your wheat, if you're a farmer, you could do all of that, but yet now you want to give that over to somebody, okay, that's going to be able to tell you how much you're going to be able to give away, okay, or better say, I'm just going to take all that you did, you and go out work some more, and then I'm going to take everything you got from it. Okay, duh. All right, we can get into that in a minute. I'm sorry. We got to go to the break. All right, and we will be right back, and then we'll get a little bit more into this discussion. All right, we'll be right back. All right, guys, thank you so much for tuning in to The Truth Behind the Truth tonight, getting you ready for more in 24. All right. So we were in the middle of just talking about trying to give you more information to get prepared as the months and the weeks go on, leading up to, of course, November of this year. Hopefully, and have to say hopefully, that you will be making the better decision, of course, keeping our current President Joe Biden, in order for in office for another 4 years. We hope that you really wake up and know that this is not an opportunity to restructure the whole platform, I'll use that just as that term, that this country was made upon. There's a lot of people that died for the freedom for this country. Okay, there's a lot of people that have from in the inception of slavery coming through this country. You know, it built America, and I'm sure the ancestors of that would not. Okay, as the old saying would say, they'll turn over in their graves. Okay, to know that what they fought, died, hung, all those other type of things for this country, that we would allow someone to come in and destroy the democracy that we have the opportunity to maintain and to build upon, and to be the example that we've always been throughout the world. You know, there's a reason why people want to be connected to the U.S. There's a reason why all these other, except for the other, those other ones out there, but the majority of this planet wants to be connected and to have what we have, as a whole here in America. And they're really wanting to get that in their country. Which kind of leaves a point mentioned about the immigration situation. One of my challenges for our existing senators, Congress, whatever the case may be, you guys really need to sit down. Okay, this should be a bipartisan discussion. It should not be that well, we want this because you're gonna have to do this. There are people lives are at stake here. Okay, at the end of the day, you want to get an extra budget because you want to do this or whatever. Your ideas of that, but every day you got people wanting to have the same level of freedoms that you have, in them. Now, my one challenge to you guys is that I don't understand why you haven't had a conversation with the leaders of these countries, okay, or tried to go in and find out what can be changed. Change it. So if you wanted to curb itself, then you got to start with the source. Go in, talk to them. I don't know why y'all even set up a committee to go and talk to these people. At least if you have, you're not talking about it.
Who are you talking about?
No. Are you talking about the countries where
where people are saying they're coming from? Okay. So there's a reason why people wanting to come. I get it. All of the freedoms we have, but what's going on in their country also should be I think a more of a what's the word I'm looking for? I would say diplomacy, maybe diplomacy. Yeah. Well, that we can go in and, or somebody goes and just find out what's going on with their leadership. I mean, why people are leaving there, they're born there, they're raised there, they got ancestors, they got, people there. Why is it that their government is not taking care of their people, that they feel like by droves that they have to leave? Now, we know what is going on. I know we've got a lot of Haitians that are part of it. We know what's going on in Haiti, because they have no government. Just for they want to know that it's just ran by, who does it say hoodlums or hoodniks or whatever. So they have no government. I don't know. Could the Americans go in and try to change it? I mean, I'm just throwing, the reason I'm throwing this out there is for discussionary purposes, to maybe we can offer some solutions that some of these other people in higher positions, well, hey, maybe they learned this on the truth behind the truth.
Well, there's money invested in those countries. Somebody is making a deal with those countries to have these types of situations. There are coups, and sometimes, and I'm not trying to be a conspiracy theorist, but sometimes America has its hands in everybody's cookie jars. I'm just saying. Right. Go ahead, Charles. If you whoever wants to speak.
I thought he was right.
It. I don't know. This last, I want to say 8-9 years. I spent a lot of time going through a lot of history, real history, true history that you can research and find out that a lot of things we've been told and taught are not actually true.
Right.
Like if you look at the foot of the Statue of Liberty, she has a chain on her ankle. The original statue, according to the drawings, was a black woman. Yeah, and the French actually sent the statue over here to celebrate the end of slavery. But of course, the United States doesn't do black people on statues, and they don't do this other stuff. They change the look of it. I mean, it's crazy. As a matter of fact, I thought I sent you all this information just so you know. But it's weird how we get caught in this dynamic of holding each other to the side. Put it that way. We push each other to the side. We don't want the immigrants. We don't want the black people. We don't want the women. We don't want. Everybody's getting pushed to the side. It's almost how you say it, a self-preservation. It's like, I only care about me. I only got to fix me. I only got to save me. Be damned with everybody else and what they're thinking, what they're feeling. Think about it. Why do we have all these men making judgments on a woman's body?
Right.
They don't have babies. They don't get pregnant.
Right.
Why are they making this decision? Law only counts when they want it to count. Any other time, it's morality. We can't pick a judge when it's so close to election. soon as that election's over, the next election, we pick a judge during election time.
Right.
Everything hits this what do you call it, this flip-flop dynamic. It never sits in where it should be. And we always change it. You know, I think Benjamin Banneker had basically helped create the DC. And it wasn't like he created it.
Yeah.
He saw the original drawings and he had a photographic memory.
Mhm.
And he created it because the other guy was gone and they needed somebody to help. And he was an astronomer, and that's why DC is set up in an astrological.
Well, he knew of the land. Benjamin Banneker knew the land, and the guy the French guy who came to set up Washington D.C. He did not know what to do with that swamp land. It was like, what can I do with this? And Benjamin was like, well, there's so much you can do with this. So go ahead. I'm sorry for cutting you off, Charles.
No, I'm just saying, but you know, that's the thing about it. We still use the Farmer's Almanac, which he created and wrote. To this day, we still use it.
True.
And we still don't acknowledge the fact he drew it up, created it, used the stars and the astrology to help make that thing work. And to this day, it's still so accurate. It's still accurate to this day.
Wow. Darnell,
It's just weird.
It is.
Darnell, go ahead.
Well, you know, a lot of it, it's just like, you know how they used to say about us black people, how they say we used to be like crabs in a barrel when it come down to things. So what the country has become is like, you have now everybody want to be gatekeepers. That's what's happened. The country has become, everybody now feel like they're a gatekeeper. So if I'm a gatekeeper, I can keep this person from getting that way. So I don't want this person in the country because of this. I don't want the black people here because of that. I don't want the Jewish people because of this. So everybody now, they're playing this role, but they're not taking the time to educate themselves on each race to know the reason why this person is here, that person is there, this person wants to do this, and that person wants to do that. You know, and I think if we take the time to do that, we all can come united as we should.
Good point.
Yeah.
Sandy?
I'm agreeing with you guys about this. It's a tough situation. The answers are not easy, but in order to get to the answers, you have to get to the truth to start with, so you know what the real problem is. So when you got Trump out there telling people it's all felons and criminals, and those are lies. Those are terrible, terrible lies. Those are just people like you and me. And again, I said it before. Are there some bad people? Sure, there's bad people in every group, but are they the majority? No, they're the little tiny bit of minority. And honestly, maybe they were bad where they were because they were trying to survive, and maybe they're here because they're trying to survive, and they will be better people. I don't know, but the truth of the matter is, the truth is when you want to help people, you don't help them by putting them on a bus and sending them somewhere else. And you don't lie about who they are and make everybody try to be afraid of them because they're here. Because if you look back in your own ancestry, you're going to come to find out that at some point, someone in your family came here from somewhere else and was accepted by this country and made a life for themselves. And that's what these people want. They want an opportunity. So one, we have to stop lying about them, and starting with Trump and all the other Republicans that are happy that there is this going on, because if they solve the problem, then they have nothing to complain about to blame on Biden and the Democrats and stuff like that. So as long as they make something out of it and it's not solved, which is what we're at the moment, the MAGA people excel at. Let's not solve anything. Let's not make our government funded. Let's not have a Speaker of the House. They've lost a bunch of people. They're down to, they got 3 people. They're about to have a 3-people majority here. And if 1 or 2 of them vote the other way, which there are some decent Republicans out there, they're liable to lose their advantage and have things, because the Democrats are doing things, all the stuff that Biden is doing, the jobs and the manufacturing and the chip production and stuff like that. This is all pro-America. This is all where people go, hey, I got a job, inflation's coming down, things are good, things are better. And the supermarket, and I didn't finish reading the whole thing, but apparently Pepsi came in and said, well, a big raise, and the supermarket said, not here, you're not. 900 stores, they took all the Pepsi stuff and said, get out of here. You're not going to, however much they raised the price. So, there are some people that are standing up, and we have to have clear, concise conversations. And God bless you, Dylan, but talking about Cat Williams and his little feelings or anybody else, it doesn't mean anything when you have these other real problems in the world, and we can be the example and be nicer to each other, and maybe that will spread to other people and go, listen. And if you're MAGA and you think that Trump is your answer, the guy wants to steal your money. Find out the truth. Go do a little research. Don't sit there and take him at the gospel. Don't listen to Fox and think it's the gospel. They're lying to you. Stop listening to the lies.
But you know what's so funny? Listening to Darnell, what he said about gatekeeping, and listening to what Charles had to say about how the country is looking and forming. You know what? Trump wants to bring back the quota system. The quota system has always been the U.S. best way of controlling the immigration system. More Europeans coming to this country than anybody else, other than from where they're coming from. More Europeans. He wants to bring back that quota system. That is the most important thing that he has said, that I have heard come out of all of his speeches, because all of these immigrants he thinks are toxic. They're toxic to our country. They're toxic to our government. They got to be rid of. But you know what? To be honest with you, when it boils down to the United States, this country is such a unique country. Everybody in this country who lives here comes from somewhere else.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Others didn't get that chance. My forefathers didn't get that chance. We came over here through slave boats, but that's history that they would love to take out of the school systems. Right. But the facts are the facts. Civics, we need civics back into our school system, because the typical American do not know how the government how it works. They don't know the three tiers, the three branches of our government. They don't even know how that works. Right. And they don't know none of the amendments, none of what the Constitution stands for. We the people, not the politicians, not the president, not Trump, not Biden. We the people control the narrative of our country. If we decide that we want to get rid of democracy, forget about we the people. It would be the president.
Yeah, to become me the people.
I the president. I the leader. But the facts are the facts. The American people have to wake up to what is at stake. Because what is at stake right now, what we're talking about right now, we could be censored at this very moment.
Right.
We cannot say what we want to say every whim.
Right.
So
okay. You're right. And so you understand, when you listen to Trump say he wants quotas, he doesn't want quota. That's him bullshitting us, because what he really wants is to set up internment camps to put the quote unquote non-quota people into, but as soon as he gets them, he's going to put everybody in them that disagrees with him. So it starts out with some saying, "Oh, we need to have quotas. We're going to need to build that camp so that the people that shouldn't be here, the criminals, which they aren't, the drug addicts, which they aren't, the murderers, which they aren't, we can put them in there and monitor them. And and now that it's open, let's put all the black people in there. Let's put all the Muslim people in there. Let's put all the gay people in there."
The Slavic people. Let's put the Eastern Europeans in there, because it's
well, that's fine with me. I have no problem with putting the Eastern Europeans.
But it is what it is.
I don't care about that. But you put those Eastern Europeans in there.
But that's
we've got to have a sense of humor about this, but we also have to understand it's the truth behind the truth. We've got to tell the truth. We've got to get our audience to understand, if you think you're listening to anything that Trump is telling you and you think that's the truth, you are terribly mistaken. I don't want to call you stupid. I want to tell you, go find out for yourself. Quit listening to Fox. Go listen to something else. Take a trip to the border. See who's coming across. Are they coming across with machetes and guns and blazing their way in and giving out drugs and stuff like that? No, their moms and fathers and coming with their kids and going, hey, we just want to live and survive like you do. Give us a place to live and we will create and we will do and we'll take domestic jobs that you don't want, because we'll get started. And in 2 or 3 generations, we will be move up the ladder like everybody else has in this country and welcome in the next generation of people.
Right.
And forget
Or
about
better-
a stimulus check, because you're
Right.
not getting another
Yeah,
stimulus
yeah.
check from Trump. On to the next.
But or better still, just to kind of piggyback on what you were saying, or are you coming and rushing the representation of democracy, and you coming in and try to tear it down and breaking windows, and you're mobbing it and everything else coming. You'll come from the border. That's what you do. You go right to the Capitol. And you start that behavior. Just tearing up everything. Okay, so just want to say that. Put that out there.
And I don't understand any woman that can support Trump in any way, or the Republicans in any way, shape, or form, because this abortion thing, you have to go to this thing that happened in Texas with this woman that was going to have a kid that they said is going to die, and they wouldn't let her. The Texas Supreme Court came out with a decision. The one court said, no, you can get an abortion, and that piece of shit Ken Paxton from Texas said, no, you can't. And we will take you to court. And the Supreme Court said, no, you can't. And she had to go somewhere else. So she got it anyway because she could afford to. But if you're a woman, how do you subscribe to that? How do you allow that? How are you? You're half the country. How do you not telling Republicans you are mothers? You have daughters. How do you not just defend your own position and your own right to it's your body? And if you say, even if you're anti-abortion, and you say, but there still has to be exceptions, even if you have an extreme position, under no condition. Well, what if it's your life? What if it's the life of the mother? It's one or the other. There has to be some exception. But the truth of the matter is you want to make decisions for other people, but you don't want other people making decisions for you. So it's a two-way street. You got to let that happen, and you got to let the women make the decision, and you can certainly fight for the right for the life of the fetus or whatever, but you've got to understand what the fuck you're talking about.
Well, yeah, exactly. I mean, and that says it right there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because none of these people have the degrees. The ones that are standing in this legislature, none of the degrees. You don't know anything about what's going on a woman's body. You probably don't even know what's going on in your own damn body. So, at the end of the day, most of y'all, I'm gonna change it just for a second. Most of y'all probably don't get your prostate examined, okay? Because most of y'all gonna end up with colon cancer, okay? Y'all don't know how to be I know that. So you don't know what's going on in your own body, all right? But you want to tell a woman what to do with hers, all right? Most of y'all probably don't eat shit right, but y'all ain't understand that either, all right? You got problems poop because you eat too much damn meat, okay? But anyway, I'm trying to put a spin on it a little bit. So y'all don't know how to take a laxative to clean your own ass out, but yet you want to tell a woman how to do with her body. Get a life, all right? And I'm talking about these men that are in this legislative this stuff. Anyway, we got to wrap it up. All right, guys, this has been a wonderful night. All right. And we encourage you to come back next week, same place, same channel. Tune in with us every weekend on Saturday night this year, because we're going to get you informed. Okay. We're going to put it in your hands to learn from the information. We're going to encourage you. We're going to be behind you. Get that Third Right book. If you don't understand what we're talking about in more deeper study, get that book. Okay. We put it up. It'll give you opportunity to do your research. Okay. And know what we're talking about, the platform where we're coming from, and bring you this information, because we want America to be great as it always is. Not to be great again. We're already great. Okay, we just need to move that. You can't make something great that's already great. We may have issues, but great people realize that they have issues and know how to improve it. Get point for that. Great people recognize that they do have issues, but they're willing to improve it. So there's no need to even become great again, because you already are. All right, guys, love you so much. Thanks for tuning in tonight. We will see you right back here, guys. Where are we? Here on The Truth Behind the Truth. Have a powerful night. Thanks for tuning in.